Democracy in the background at work.
Thank you, Chairman Rhoda and Ranking Member Comer. As a former congressional staffer, oops, you need this. Thank you, Chairman Rhoda and Ranking Member Comer. As a former congressional staffer, I'm honored to testify today. I'm a climate statistician and the executive director of the CO2 Coalition of 46 climate scientists and energy economists. I ask that our recent white paper on this topic, climate change and health, and my full testimony be taken for the record.
So moved.
We save the people of the planet from people who think they're saving the planet, from an always predicted but never realized climate catastrophe. A 1999 UN report predicted, and I quote, "Entire nations could be wiped off the face of the earth in 12 years. Sound familiar? So far, CO2 emissions have had a positive and modest impact on Americans' health. Crop productivity is up by 15 to 30% because CO2 is a plant food. Weather mortality is down because CO2 is a warming gas, and many more people die from cold snaps than increased heat. And the fracking revolution has saved many lives by making home heating cheaper. But it's in Africa that fossil-fueled electricity is truly a matter of life and death. Only 25% of African homes has electricity. That explains much of why life expectancy in Africa is 20 years lower than the rest of the world. If we could have the next slide. As a statistics professor, I taught my students to beware of two Latin enemies of the truth: ad hominem, which is arguing about someone's credentials and paycheck rather than their data and analysis, and post hoc ergo propter hoc, which is claiming that correlation between two variables causation. Consider this Preston curve of life expectancy in a country as a function of its wealth or GDP per capita. Now, life is not bivariate. Many variables affect an outcome. But of course, we human beings can only digest images in 2 dimensions. So we often use graphs like these, which imply a strong causal relationship, but only when we're confident that removing the effect of other important variables would not change it. This is one of those cases. This is one of the strongest findings in public health and social science. Being wealthy saves lives. You see that if Africa can move from all those dots at the sub-$1,000 per capita level just up to the $2,000 per capita level, millions of lives will be saved. Reliable energy, reliable electricity, in turn, plays a huge role in getting wealthy and being healthy. Reliable energy means that Africans don't have to cook and heat with wood and animal dung, dramatically reducing lung and heart disease. It means that water can be purified for safe drinking, dramatically reducing the largest cause of infant mortality. Next slide, please. This is a typical rural African dwelling. Next slide, please. Inside it, people cook and heat with fuels that rob them of years of their lives. Next slide, please. This is the million-strong Cape Flats in South Africa. Under apartheid, this was dark. This is the great achievement of free South Africa: universal electricity and, as a result, clean water for all. A grid of fossil-fueled electricity would not only eliminate deadly indoor air pollution, it would also end deadly outdoor pollution from the dieselization of Africa. Factories, hotels, offices, and wealthy homes fire up their generators when the daily brownouts and blackouts hit. Mr. Chairman, you wouldn't want to be within a mile of a diesel generator in Lagos, yet no square mile is without one. But of course, for all their benefits to wealth and health, what if fossil fuels and their carbon dioxide emissions really have led to climate catastrophe? Now, science is the testing of hypotheses with data. The data are what country singer Porter Wagner used to call the cold, hard facts of life. Using only the IPCC's words and data, Professors Roger Pielke and Judith Curry prepared these coming slides showing the extreme weather and rate of sea level rise have not registered any statistically significant change during the recent period of warming that was partially induced by CO2. Here are the cold, hard facts of life from the IPCC. Rate of sea level rise, it says on there, no increase from when natural warming was the driver in the first half of the 20th century. Drought, no increase from that time. Next slide, please. Floods, no increase. Next slide, please. No trends in cyclones or hurricanes in North America. So climate catastrophe may happen, and we need to maintain vigilant scientific inquiry, but hasn't happened yet. Last slide, please. The IPCC, as the ranking member has said, says with, quote, very high confidence that the best ways to save lives is provide clean water, sanitation, vaccinate children, prepare for extreme weather, and help people get out of poverty. We agree with the IPCC. We are part of that scientific consensus. But those solutions today are not possible without cheap, reliable energy. At the moment, only fossil fuels can grow the food, drive the cars, dig the minerals, build the products, boost the economy, and provide preventive and care health for the sick. And that's good. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.